On this week's GTA 5 o'clock, online heist dated for March 10th, the PC release is pushed back 2 weeks, and a huge analysis of 11 new heist screenshots. It's all here on this week's GTA 5 o'clock.
I know you've been complaining, but you weren't ready.
Hello and welcome to this week's GTA 5 o'clock. I'm your host, James Jarvis, and I'm joined by co-host Mr. Trophy, Iain Wilson.
Hello.
Hello, Iain. Yes, as mentioned at the top of the show, exciting news. Heists finally have a release date.
Yes, confirmed.
Confirmed on the RockStar Newswire yesterday. They are coming March 10th. Now, this was a bit of a good-bad sandwich on Rockstar's part because, yes, Heists are coming March 10th, but unfortunately, the PC release has slipped back again to April 14th.
Yes.
Now, this isn't that long. This isn't that much of a slip.
No, it's like another 3 weeks from the previous one. So.
Yeah, but it is still a slip.
Yes.
Rockstar have said that they need more time to make everything polished and all working properly. We'll talk about the PC version and the delay a bit later on in the show, but first we should talk about Heists because they are the most exciting thing that is going to happen in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, definitely.
March 10th, not that far away. So what did Rockstar say on their website with regards to Heists?
Well, they said that it's going to be bringing a brand new 4-player cooperative gameplay experience to GTA Online, which is pretty exciting. Give players a chance to team up to pull off a string of intense multi-part raids and robberies across Los Santos and Blaine County. And over the next couple of weeks, we will have more information about the launch of Heists and about other new features that they'll be releasing with it.
Cool. So, yeah, we knew that all the heists would be 4-player cooperative experiences. There are going to be 5 heists, each with, I think, 5 parts to them, which relate to about 20 hours of new gameplay. I think if you do all of the different tasks in each, as each character, because there's different bits to do in each thing. So it should relate to about 20 hours of gameplay. There were also a load of new screenshots that came out. I think there's 11 official heist screenshots. And we think we can tie these actually to the heist that we mentioned on last week's show and give you a bit more detail about them. So we're going to do that right now. Now, the first one you can see is 4 men walking towards the camera. Now, they're wearing similar outfits here to they are on when we see them taking on that party boat in the trailer. So this could be one of the smaller heist missions, or I guess the party boat could be the big score. Could be. That's worth quite a lot of money, I'd imagine, that boat.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Some things to note here as well. There are fingerless gloves. And jackets with hoods up, and also a skull mask balaclava.
Yeah, in the background there, you can just see it.
Now, previously, the fingerless gloves haven't really worked that well with other outfit choices. They are in the game. But now it looks like you can combine them with whatever you want. Having your hood up or down would be a good option. And balaclavas aren't in at the moment, but it looks like they'll be coming.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it'll work the same way as the masks, things like that, just to cover up your identity when you're doing stuff, so...
Yeah, sweet. That is a sweet screenshot. The second one, now we've seen images of this and call it a heist before. Now, originally, I thought that this whole thing was like the loud option of taking the prison transport, as we mentioned last week, because you're meant to attack a high security convoy. These look like...
Obviously, you've got like a pretty hefty machine gun mounted on the back of a truck there, so that's gonna definitely help if you're taking down a convoy or something like that. Yeah,
but now, having seen some of the other screenshots, I'm not entirely convinced that this is the case. I think this might be one of the heists that Rockstar haven't talked about yet, or we haven't managed to discover, which revolves around some kind of military cargo or military-grade weapon, something like that. Perhaps it takes in Fort Zancudo, because, as we know, there are areas on the map that aren't really explored in the single player. It doesn't make sense for them to be there as a point. They're just sort of set dressing.
Exactly.
Fort Zancudo is one of those things.
Definitely, yeah.
You'd think Rockstar would want to make a feature of it. We know the prison has a similar standing. It's there, but you can't really do anything with it.
It's not really touched on at all in single player, is it? So
that has got a heist. We know that's been confirmed. They've talked about it. We've seen the planning boards of it. So it would make sense that if all of these things tied in together. I think this shot is actually staged because
it's obviously in the shadow of the Vinewood sign there. It kind of looks like it's up in the hills, so like potentially why you would be up in that area firing off a machine gun like that, who knows? Although I mean, obviously it's a bit of a tilted angle, that shot, but it kind of looks that they're maybe shooting it upwards, so maybe even like shooting at a helicopter or something.
Could be, yeah. I think if we look at some of the other images featuring this vehicle and this sort of heist setting, they all seem to take place around the prison and around that painted area where it's all got the UFO stuff on it. So I think the majority of it will take place there. I don't know why. And they're all going away from the city.
Right.
I don't know why you'd be up here, but you never know.
Yeah.
All right, on to the third screenshot. We've got some stealth.
Oh, yes.
Some stealth here. Now, this gun that he's holding, I think, has a silencer on it.
Yeah, it looks like just off the bottom of the screen there. There's something strapped on.
He's got a very cool balaclava there, tied up at the top.
Yeah.
That's nice.
It's like the old tights over the head, possibly.
That's right, yeah. And he seems to be attacking, someone with a Lost T-shirt on.
Yeah, that's maybe a bit of a giveaway there.
So this is probably around Sandy Shores, on the Lost MC
Yeah,
base.
it looks like their sort of little trailer park, doesn't it? So.
Yeah. Now, we're not quite sure why we would be attacking this for a heist. Could it be possibly to steal their bikes for something?
Yeah.
I mean, we know they like driving around on bikes, or maybe to sabotage them, like a rival crew wants you to go in and...
Yeah, possibly, or say to take their bikes and maybe some clothing or something, and actually then frame the loss of something that you do instead. Possibly.
Yeah, could be. If we move on to the next shot, we've got some more bikes, and again in the background here we've got a lost van, one of their vans in the background, and these aren't the sort of standard bikes you get with the Lost, though.
No, they look quite fancy ones, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, these are called electro bikes. You can see on the bottom of the bike there, it's got some words that says electro.
Right.
And then if you look right the way through the bikes, there's a man standing there going into the building, and it looks like these guys are maybe waiting for him to come out.
Right, okay.
So maybe he's going in there to pick something up. Could it be like a lost hideout that you're going into and you're picking up some explosives or something? You've heard information that they are making it. You know you need explosives to get in somewhere. You have to go and pick that up. These guys are watching over you.
It looks like you actually see some shell casings flying out there by the looks of it, so you could actually be there defending somebody going in to grab some stuff.
Waiting for him to run in, pick something up, get back out on the bike.
And then get out of there together.
Yeah, so that could be that. This one, obviously there's the big Humane Labs sign there on the left-hand side. As we mentioned last week, we know the Humane Labs job is one of them that is going to be one of the big heists. It's written on one of the notice boards. Yeah. Now, we've not seen much of this, but we know from the trailer that you're going to need a pilot, a gunner, and 2 members of a ground team. Yeah. This looks like the 2 members of the ground team here are taking on the Humane Labs. We also know that you're going to need an assault rifle, a shotgun, a flare gun, some night vision goggles, an ID card, and some gas masks.
Yes.
There's been a few leaked images that you can see actually in one of the trailer images from last week. It's one of the things at the bottom that says gear needed, and it's got a picture of all those things in it. So we think, as mentioned on the show again, that this is probably a data heist. You're going in and stealing something from the Humane Labs, whether it be a bit of code or some kind of chemical formula to make a dirty bomb or something. I don't know.
Who knows? I mean, it's interesting with this one that the team it does obviously look like they're going in from the ground, presumably in through like a front entrance or a side entrance, rather than obviously in the single player when you go into the humane labs, you go in through the vents and the scuba suits and go underwater for that. So it could be like, obviously, I guess they don't want to do exactly the same approach again for a heist. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see the different route into there.
Yeah, and again, we've got some later on with the other screenshots. I think there's hints towards multiple ways of tackling these heists.
Yeah, sure.
Whether it be day, night, loud or quiet, I guess like you can with the heist in the main game. So this could be just one of the options. In the trailer as well, on this heist, we saw someone shooting a flare gun into the air to signal the pilot that was outside of the humane labs around the back near the coast. And he actually arrives in a army helicopter with the gunner operating the machine gun.
Yeah, it's actually mounted in there, isn't it?
So you think these two are the ground people, then you've got the pilot to fly the chopper in and the gunner to shoot anyone who's getting in your way.
Take out people trying to stop you.
The next screenshot is this one, and this is related to the prison break heist. As we saw and identified last week, you're going to need a plane for a part of this heist to smuggle out the person you're getting out of prison. This is from Vagos contraband smugglers. They're using this plane, and then you're going to have to steal it from near sandy shores. You can see them there jumping in the plane as these two guys shoot whoever is coming to get them. That's a nice outfit he's got on there.
Yeah,
I like
it's
the
quite
textures
funky, isn't it?
on that. So yeah, that's that one. We covered a lot of that heist off last week, so if you missed that, go back and check it out. Again, the next screenshot we've got is probably from the Humane Labs heist. The only thing I think is strange about this shot is the other chopper seems to be player controlled because it's only got one person in it.
Right.
And he's not shooting at the chopper that's obviously shooting at something else.
Yes.
But knowing how the team is split, that doesn't really make a lot of sense because someone's got to fly the chopper that this guy's sitting in. He's doing the machine gun, and there's two I think inside the lab somewhere.
Yeah, you'd think so. Unless, I mean, maybe unless you do have a second, maybe AI-controlled helicopter supporting you in some way. And that, I mean, I guess going back to what we said with the one before that, maybe that would explain why you need the flare gun to signal to it, because obviously if it's all player-controlled people, you can see each other and you wouldn't need to maybe do that signalling so much. So that could be linked into it somehow.
That's very true, yeah. I guess you could call in like Merryweather support.
Yeah, so similar sort of setup to that. So just using the flare to signal where they need to go. All
right, so the next shot is of this sort of military-grade vehicle. Now, again, it's near the prison. We can see the wind farm in the background there. But, again, there are too many vehicles in this shot.
There's a lot of vehicles going. There's a lot of stuff going on, isn't there? So.
Yeah, there's even one, like, right off on the right-hand side. You can see like, the very back of it, which would make four
trucks.
Two helicopters. I mean, that's too many.
Yeah.
So the front the front one is player control. We can see the two guys in there got balaclavas on. They're dressed up. They're on a heist. So I can only assume that because the guys further back aren't really looking like they're taking part in a heist, that those are the enemy or whoever was stealing.
They could be pursuing them,
And then I think the two remaining player control people will be up in the choppers, taking out whoever's chasing you.
Yeah.
Possibly. So, yeah, we can see this truck in another shot from the trailer that we looked at last week where the truck surrounds like a military transport jeep. It's got one of those covers on it.
Yeah.
So possibly this is related to like a military heist. If these guys, I mean, they look like the kind of trucks that you'd drive into Fort Zancudo.
Yeah, they're pretty well built, aren't they? Some
kind of secret operation. You're stealing. Maybe it's a UFO.
Oh,
imagine that.
That would be amazing.
Imagine if you were transporting a UFO. Well, we will see in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
The next shot we've got, it's number 9, is this one of a silencer in the foreground, silenced gun.
Yeah.
And in the background there, it looks like there's some kind of gas or explosion.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to tell. I mean, the kind of, like, presumably that's maybe like a security light or something shining down that's lighting the area up, but it's hard to tell because it's obviously got the sort of depth of field and motion blur in the background there.
Yeah, it's difficult to tell. What we can tell is it's raining.
Yes.
And that these guys look like to be wearing scuba gear or something that's definitely...
Yeah, they're definitely suited up there by the looks of it.
Yeah, so this could be the section of the prison break mission. We know one's called Wet Work, that we identified last week, which takes place around City Hall. And this doesn't really look like a City Hall setting.
But You never know.
There is mention in that you have to go in and do something silently, which would help with the silenced pistols and things.
Yeah. So maybe you have to sort of sneak in via a river or some kind of like underwater approach to it at least.
But then again, this could be also a different way of tackling the humane labs, or as we're about to see, the aircraft carrier heist. And here he is, the aircraft carrier. Now, this is where the Hydra features, a big new exciting addition for GTA Online. We've not seen much of this, but last time we did see it, the shots that we saw were in the daytime.
Yeah.
So this suggests that you can do this at different times of the day. I'm not sure these are going to be locked off, like you can only do it at night or daytime, depending on which you choose.
Yeah, it could be, or it could just be that whenever you initiate the heist during the normal 24-hour time cycle in the game is just when it happens. So.
Yeah, like it's just you go as part of the 24-hour clock, and however long it takes you, you just have to do it as and when. Yeah. Could be that. That's very true. Now, you seem to be in the trailer to be able to take the Hydra without much resistance from the people on the aircraft carrier, which is strange.
Yes.
So I'd suggest that at some point you're going to have to steal a uniform.
That's it, yeah. Dress yourself up as a pilot and just stroll off and take it.
Either from someone, I guess, on the ship or someone who's had shore leave, and you get their uniform from somewhere on the mainland.
Yeah, imagine if it's on the ship, there'll be some sort of stealth element with that as well to obviously get in and get the uniform undetected.
Definitely. And finally, we've got this screenshot, which is obviously of the bank heist.
The classic.
The one that started it all. We've seen in the trailer a nighttime response from the police. This is clearly in the daytime as they're coming out of the bank. So again, could that relate to different ways of doing it, or is it just a time of day thing? It's in the Pacific Standard Bank, which we've seen way back in the GT Online official gameplay video that came out, I don't know, ages ago.
A long time ago.
It seems like forever now.
It does, yeah.
We saw actual gameplay of this heist taking place. So obviously it's been there from the start.
Yeah.
This is the one. So is that all of the heists listed off? I mean, we know there's going to be 5.
Yeah.
I've got them down as a bank heist, probably for money, this one.
Yeah.
We've got the party boat, which could end up in you stealing the giant boat that's got to be worth millions. We've got the prison break, where you rescue that guy who we mentioned last week.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Rashkovsky.
That's he's so Russian. I'm going to
pretend it seems like it.
We've got the Humane Labs heist, where you're stealing data, possibly a chemical formula for something, and then the military transport heist, weapons, maybe a UFO, jetpack.
Yeah,
I'm gonna throw that in there.
Just throw it out there.
So I mean, that would be 5 heists.
Yeah.
The only thing that is missing from that is the casino.
Yes.
It's a massive feature. Well, for the community, it's a massive feature that has been coming soon for ages. I don't know. Maybe one of the heists could be related to the casino. That would be another big money heist.
Definitely.
But then again, these are only the first 5 heists.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, once the casino opens, then there's the option to add in another heist to rob the casino. I don't know. I'd like it to be in there, but it does look like at the moment, the things that we're seeing from RockStar, you can quite easily identify 3 or 4 definite heists.
Yes, definitely from that.
Maybe there'll be another one, maybe there won't.
Yeah.
So that is the GTA Online heist section. Let's just talk quickly about the PC release. Now, we know it's been delayed. It's been delayed by only a couple more weeks.
Yeah.
But Rockstar said they need a bit more time to ensure the game is as polished as possible and to make certain that both heists and the GTA Online experience are ready to roll out day one for PC. As a gesture of thanks to everyone who is waiting and for their understanding, anyone who's pre-ordered the game gets an additional 200,000 GTA dollars in-game cash to use for buying stuff in GTA Online.
So yeah, so potentially,
I mean,
if you've pre-ordered it, and isn't it if you're a returning player, you get 500,000 online. If you pre-order it, you get another 300,000 plus this 200,000.
So you get $1 million.
So 1 million.
$1
million GTA dollars.
I mean, you can buy quite a lot with $1 million.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, you could like straight off the bat. Obviously, once if depending on whether you import your character or start from the beginning again, will affect how soon you can actually buy an apartment and do all that sort of stuff that you need a few levels higher to be able to actually do it. But yeah, you could certainly set yourself up with a nice apartment, some decent vehicles, get some nice clothes and stuff.
And then once you add in Heist into that, you can quite easily make all that money back quite quickly.
Yes,
so
by the sounds of it.
So yeah, as we said, semi-predicted last week, Heist will be ready for the launch of the PC release.
Yeah.
But we have to question the delay slightly. It's probably, I'm going to say, delayed because of all of the online functionality. Like, the main single-player game is done. Like, that's happening.
Oh, yeah.
It's just going to be making sure that because of all the things that you can add into PCs, and because it's much easier to modify that code, shall we say.
Yeah.
It's probably a lot more difficult to make sure that that all works as Rockstar want it to.
Indeed, yeah.
We have seen some other images of, I think you sent me one, Trove, of player-created heists. Like, could they be a possibility?
Yeah.
There was some leaks images from a creator mode.
Exactly, yeah. There were these images from the creator mode where it got a new actors tab where you could drop in other characters into that setup that we've not seen in the creator mode so far. So it seems like you might actually be able to put together, put other NPCs and other characters in there and have them do different things, which you could then sort of have a more of a story-like element to your created missions, which would tie in with the heist stuff, which obviously is more than just a standard mission. Yeah.
Now, Rockstar did say in that Newswire post that in the next couple of weeks they'll have more information about Heist and other new features that will release with it. That could be one of the new features. I thought about it briefly and thought, are they going to allow players to create their own heists in the world of GTA? I mean, if that is a possibility, it would explain why they're taking so long to release them. Because once you give that power to the community, if you can create your own heist, like you can imagine the nightmare that's going to be in terms of balancing those things and cash generation. Like, if you were going to be naughty about it, you could just create a heist that's, here's the start point, here's the end point, here's the bag of cash.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, obviously we've already seen as soon as the mission generation stuff came out in GTA Online, people were sort of making missions that promised to give you fast RP, fast cash, and all that sort of stuff straight away. And I would assume that if players could create their own heist, there would be either some sort of cap on how much money they could get from it, or even that maybe you would get other rewards other than cash, maybe not just earn RP or something for it. Because, as you say, the possibility for manipulating that and sort of creating just a cash generator that people could exploit on that is obviously something Rockstar have always worked hard to try and prevent people doing online. So,
well, we will see in a couple of weeks just what this has in store for us. If you've got any comments about the heist or the delayed PC release, put them down below. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at GTAVOclock and on Facebook at facebook.com/GTAVOclock. That is it for this week. I hope you're as excited as we are about heists. We will be back next week with another show, hopefully a load more information, and then it's just 1 week to go after that. Well, we will be playing GTA Heists, possibly in a live stream. Let's throw that out there.
Yeah, we will definitely, obviously, we will be covering them as soon as we've got access to them, and covering as much information we can with it, and hopefully getting some of the viewers on board to help us out with that as well.
Great. Well, thanks for listening, and we will see you all next week at 5 p.m. GMT.